Hello and welcome for the love of food. But for today, what we're working on outdoors is going to be these wonderful green tomatoes. And we're not going to fry them like everybody else does that lives in the South. I'm originally from up north, and in the delis up north, what they do with these green tomatoes is they pickle them. And so you all know I'm a big fan of making pickles. We're going to make fridge pickle styled green tomatoes. We'll be right back to show you how this is done. First thing that we've got to do, well, we washed these tomatoes, right? So we brought them upstairs, we washed them in the sink, we dried them off, and now we need to slice them up. So how should you slice them? That's going to be the first thing that you're going to ask me. Well, for this style tomato, I'm going to slice them just like you would if you were going to put this in a salad. Straight down. Remember, flat as your friend. Borrowed that from my friend Anna. And is a wonderful chef. And I'm going to go ahead and just slice these straight down. And then you can see, here are all my little pieces. Very simple. Now, if you want, you can take off this little stem. That's what I would do. Just cut that stem right off and throw that away because nobody wants to eat the stem. And then we can just go ahead and pop these right into our jar. Now I want to bring in lots of garlic, right? We need to have lots of this garlic. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break this off. Sometimes it helps to get your knife in there. There we go. Now, you're going to find out that there are many ways to cut garlic. What I like to do, and I find is easy, is I cut off both the ends. This seems to be my go-to style. I just come down here and trim my ends. And then you're thinking, yes, but that still has all of that skin on the garlic. Well, the way that I get the skin off is I like to take the garlic in my hands and roll it back and forth. Just keep rolling it around in my hands. And then the skin falls off. See how the skin is kind of here? I don't know if you can see this, my lighting. And then I just peel what isn't coming off, give it a little assistance. And you can just keep rolling. So, I'll tell you a funny story. I went to a cooking class that was being done by my friend Anna. And when I walked in, she came over and she was like, oh, and she put her hands on my face. You know, often like, you know, certain cultures do. And she's like, oh, it's so nice to see you. And I said, oh, you smell good. You smell like garlic. So just know that if you're going to use my style, look at all of that skin has come off that garlic. So if you're going to do it my way, my point is your hands are going to smell like garlic. But we'll just pop those. I'm going to put 4 of those in my jar. And now I want to put in a little onion as well. So let's go ahead and just move that out of the way. And now let's go ahead and cut our onion. And again, Nicole has a different technique. I like my technique because it allows me to cut and peel the onion without getting a lot of that juice and scent into the air that makes your eyes water. So keeping the onion whole will help to reduce that. So I'm only going to use, well, let's say 1 onion in this one. I don't want too much onion. I want mostly tomato. If you wanted, you could put another one in, but I think that's fine. The next step we want to do is add in our spices. So let's go ahead and put in, I'll measure for you. Let's do a tablespoon of salt. Now, I'm using sea salt. You could also use kosher salt, but what you can't use is table salt. I highly advise, do not try and use table salt in anything that you're going to be doing, especially if you're pickling. Try and use these salts that don't have iodine in them. All right, we want to put some spices in as well. So I'm going to use, I've got a little 1/4 teaspoon, but I'm not going to use a whole 1/4. I'm going to use about 1/8 of a teaspoon of celery salt. I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of mustard seed. I like mustard seed a lot. It has a nice tang to it. And I'm also going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of fennel seed. You could also use coriander. That fennel is beautiful. Coriander would work very nicely as well. I'm just going to shake that around. And now what I want to do is add my vinegar. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put at least a cup of vinegar. And this is just plain old white vinegar. Ooh, try not to spill it. All right, there's my cup of vinegar. And now you're going to say, but Jan, you've got a whole lot of vinegar in there. Let's go ahead and fill the rest of it with water to cut some of that sourness of the vinegar. And there you have it. There are my fridge pickle green tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on the top of this one. And then just shake them up. And these are going to be a lovely treat for our Labor Day weekend brisket that we'll be doing. And we'll enjoy these and share some of these maybe with the neighbors as well. Thanks for watching For the Love of Food.